Alright guys, how you guys doing again here tonight? Boy, okay, oh, here we go. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and see if the audio is going to sync up just nicely tonight. Certainly hope that it does. So, I'm going back to the old camera, trying to make sure that the, it may be just off just a little bit. I do apologize for that. Boy, so, how's everybody doing? It's been nice and cold here in Atlanta, Georgia. If you guys are in the south or if you guys are getting hit by the winter blast, it's really coming down out there. So, I'll probably be staying here tonight. So, that's what it's looking like right now. Anywho, thank you very much, Eagle 1J, X-Ray Charlie, Hildrick, Mr. Hymiller, Eagle 1J, and of course, Less Music and Yeoman. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us again here tonight, and you wonderful lurkers who are out there who continue to watch. So, yes, very much so, Eagle 1J. The weather here is quite frightening, and it's we had roughly, and I was on the roads looking at a couple of things, but with my father. But we were on our way back to the office, and they reported on the news here in the Atlanta area that we had over 100 traffic accidents in less than an hour, and pretty much 285, 85, 75, 400, basically all the highways that were here, even 20 here in Georgia, all of them were shut down. And I'm not sure as to when they're actually going to lift that, but everything pretty much here is shut down. It's still snowing. I think we've got roughly about 2 to 3 inches worth of snow out there. I know for all you guys up in the north, this is nothing, absolutely nothing, but we don't have a lot of salt, we don't have a lot of sand or gravel that we typically use, so nor do we have the implements. So you wouldn't buy your ski equipment in the tropics, and neither would you buy a bikini up north. So when I say up north, I mean the Great White North. So yes, Yeoman, you are very, very lucky right now. So.
Oh, he's in Florida.
Yes, yeah. Very, very lucky right now.
Hello, everybody. Sorry about Sunday night. Jet lag would be an understatement. So, left Vietnam on Friday morning, 6 a.m. our time, and arrived Sunday around 5:45 p.m. And that was a non-stop porthole to porthole trip. So, needless to say, the body did not enjoy that one. Had a great trip from some standpoints. Our manufacturing partner over there, who also files our patents, on the patent side, they're doing a phenomenal job. I think they're on patent number 5 already since Thanksgiving, so they've really been cranking on them. On the manufacturing side, unfortunately, I'm going to say that it will be more painful and more drawn out to integrate them into our manufacturing process. They have done some things great, but the type of equipment they've been building and the type of equipment we have are quite a bit different. So there will be some learning curves that they have. So unfortunately, those orders that are currently in-house fall square on our shoulders. And we have renewed our efforts and refocused on pushing to get the printers out the door. And even to the point if we're going to cut back on all sales efforts for a little while here. We'll still answer emails and give support, but during the next week or two, we're going to be trying to figure out if there's a way to expedite what we're currently building. We have a lot of things here, a lot of print parts and things like that, but the problem is just they're a small, limited group, and we put an offer in, I believe, today for a 13,000 square foot building. We've been looking at it, and that will help a lot to move into that building. So we keep our fingers crossed. We should know within 5 to 6 days that that's going to happen.
Yep.
If it doesn't, we have to go to plan B or C.
Yeah.
But that would help a lot because we really don't have enough room to bring more people on board at this time. And right now, that's kind of what we need is not just more people, but really skilled, dedicated people. You can't just throw people at this problem because then we end up reworking everything. Today is a perfect case in point. We had 3 more printers go onto the assembly line yesterday. We expected it to go, you'd think after all the printers we've made, that it would go quickly and painlessly. And those who are hoping we'll fall on our faces should be cheering because we all got bloody noses from this one. The stupidest of stuff is still happening, and so we stopped and rebuilt all 3 printers that went up together on the line yesterday. So anyway, I just finished putting the finishing touches and they're now on test, but that is not what was expected. So pretty much not a whole lot's changed in the last 2 or 3 weeks. We had a good CES show, as you guys may or may not have heard. Our whole focus at this moment is the firmware and getting the printers out. And fortunately, we're making progress, but I am sitting on a beehive or a anthill at the moment with little stinging things hitting me all from all sides of the front, touches also. But he's hanging tough, and appreciate his enduring enthusiasm. On a good front, a lot of people that have received their printers are actually printing with them.
Yes.
And we have had 1 head failure.
Yep.
And did we look at that? Did we get it back? I understood we got it back.
Yes, we did. And when I looked at it, it was pretty much instantaneous. When you see it, you're just going to say, okay.
Is it the same song next verse?
Do you want me to grab it?
Yeah, let's take a look at
Okay.
it. Let's show you guys what's going on. Also, I know Ken and David, Mr. Gecko, both your units are right here because they stopped the shipments this afternoon. The roads were total gridlock, so we didn't drive them over to UPS store there. And Ken, yours is going DHL, and they did not pick up this afternoon. So they say they'll renew service again. They'll restart it tomorrow. It's just the roads are for you guys laughable, but for us they are. Well, I went over to grab some Gorilla Glue at 3 o'clock. It is exactly 2 blocks. It took me till 4:30 to get back. So that'll tell you an idea of what it looks like here.
The general rule, Eagle 1J, about blowers and snow shovels and plows and stuff like that, there's only one in Atlanta, and that's at Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson for all 5 runways.
Oh, you talking about things that go on the road and blow?
Yeah.
No, that's just the drivers from New York.
Yeah. Wow.
Did I say that?
Yes.
Well, they do like to tailgate late at night, like 70 miles an hour, and they're so close you can't see their headlights. And we have these things with horns on them. They look like Bambi, only on steroids. And they're always jumping out in front of us. They've hit my van. They've hit his car. So what do? You're going down the road, and Bambi jumps in front of you, and the guy behind you is so close. Not only does he not step on the brakes.
The failure was with this guy.
Really?
Yes. What happened was that, and
this has the old style.
there's what happened was that what the backer who provided this guy.
That's cool. You can use his name.
He had a spacer that was inside of there, and the spacer that was there was pushing so hard up against this with so much force that the material just wasn't grabbing. And
have you popped this out or tried to print with it?
I pushed a little bit of material through it, and it was able to go through once I removed the thing that he had, and I used one of our other springs, and it was fine. So,
well, we're going to do more of a section analysis. Yeah, we're going to do more of an analysis on this now that I see it. Because I would like to know, we'll heat this up and unscrew this. We should be able to see all the way through that.
Okay, let me go heat it up.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Makes it for interesting. So let's see. Well, I blame me for Mother Nature. They are sitting next to their boxes to answer your question. We had planned on sticking them in the box starting around 2 o'clock this afternoon, and we didn't stick them in the box. And then at 3, when I went out, as soon as I saw the roads, I sent the guys home because the roads are icing already. They were icing at 3:45, and pardon?
1 o'clock.
Yeah, but at 3:45 when I was out there,
It was bad.
they were starting to ice up. And the problem is any slight incline around here, they don't believe in salt. They don't have snow tires, so people just start sliding off the edge of the road. They panic. Oh my God, what do I do? And so they cram on all 4 brakes, and then they're sliding like little donuts on a shuffleboard or something. It's craziness. Anyway, someone obviously never taught them how to slide while driving. It's so much fun. I don't know why they don't teach it around here.
But I'm invincible in my car.
Oh. There's apparently a hill over in the county next to us that more than 80 cars had all stopped and just slid slowly back down. 2 school buses. It was Robin Way or something like that. And they had it announced on the radio say, whatever you do, stay away from this road. It was funny. But there's another one of those around here. Even my subdivision entrance is that way right now.
It's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway. Okay, let's see what we've got. I wanted to get the CES year, but couldn't. Was in New York City. Well, that's unfortunate for you. You know what? Don't use brakes, downshift, downshift. I just take my foot off the gas lightly, and in front-wheel drive, you actually put a little power to the wheels if you can and steer the direction we go. It's the opposite of rear-wheel drive, but when I was a kid, my dad always took us out in the mud and let us spin around and get the feel for it. And yeah, Southerners call them racing slicks. Yeah, bald tires. That reminds me of some tires I had stolen in Southern California once. Did I ever tell you about that?
What? No.
I used to have a motorcycle and a little pickup truck. So it was a Gold Wing Interstate Sweet Machine. I'm working in Los Angeles, so I always leave the Gold Wing inside the factory. But when the weather was good, I'd take the Gold Wing home, leave the pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
So I come into work one morning at about 6 a.m. and something's wrong with my pickup truck. It looks like it's not sitting quite right. As I get a little bit closer, I notice that all 4 tires and the rims have been taken off. But my tires were bald already. I mean, they needed to be changed. So the one guy says to me, "Those were Mexican racing slicks. What are you doing?" Anyway, that reminded me of that. So, well, let me tell you about CES because I don't know. Hutch didn't get there. Davo and I went there, and it was a total marathon. There are some exciting new printers coming out. There are a couple of people that deserve honorable mention. One is Robox, R-O-B-O-X, the guys from England. I feel like those guys have done some really solid, innovative engineering. I was sorry they weren't printing at the show because I thought that would have really been awesome for them.
Nice capper. Yeah.
For a change, we were printing at the show, and we were printing in spades. We were printing quite popularly all day long, 2 vases simultaneously, 60 times, everyone hit perfect. The guys who got the booth arranged for 3D Print Life, I thought they did a phenomenal job. So if they ever see this broadcast, know that I have recognized the extreme competence and wonderful planning they put into this. I don't think we would have even come 10% as close as they did at doing such a good job setting it up. So thank you very much, Joel and Jeff and Buzz and Mark, I think. And there's one other guy, but he eludes me. So great job on that, guys. Another big benefit was, or another interesting printer from my side was one from Taiwan, which was the not the Swashbuckler, the Da Vinci.
The Da Vinci, yeah.
And when you look at the Da Vinci, you'll realize that this is a printer that's made from people that have designed regular production printers before, i.e. your laser printers and stuff. It had the thin sheet metal, but it was clean. And the way they did the sheet metal, the vacuum form die on the plastic and stuff, this is a group of guys to watch that I believe they will take over the low-end printer market. But I think they have some things to learn, as we all have. So don't buy one just yet. I would say that would be a mistake. give them 6 to 12 months, and I think they will become the true owner of the low-end market. I just see the quality and the engineering as being pretty good on it. So, like an Epson printer. You go buy an Epson printer, you know what you're going to get, or an HP printer right now. I was just over at Office Depot trying to get some toner for our printer because we're printing the shipping and sales reports, and I took a quick look like I always do. And what you would get for a $250 or $300 printer is the same quality of plastic and construction. There are some cheesy parts to it, but I think they'll work it out. And they have definitely going to have their firmware issues. It'll be interesting to see how those get resolved. But they're babes in the woods on that standpoint. They know how to make a regular printer. Now they'll have to learn how to make a 3D printer. Technology-wise, raw box. Those are the guys who are bringing more to the plate. They brought a really nice build plate. They brought a nice tilting dual head that has 2 different orifice sizes to it. Reasonably good build platform. What looked to be good prints. If they'd printed, I could have given you 1,000,000% back on that. But it was nice. On the other side, nobody at MakerBot was printing, and I don't believe anybody at Stratasys was printing.
They were not.
So I was kind of disappointed to see that because I always like to watch their machines run. At the fair in May in San Francisco, MakerBot was printing everywhere. They had machines in the bathroom printing, it seemed like. But this year, I don't know why it was. It might be we weren't supposed to make fumes or something. I couldn't tell you. But and there were a few little marketing tricks that I thought were a little bit not the best. Like they'd take 5 parts and put them together and they laid them in the printer and made you think that they actually printed that in the printer, and it was like, I don't think so. That's only twice as big as your build platform, so I'm pretty sure that wasn't done. I was surprised also at something else, and that was that there were some printers there I'd never seen before. One of them was a printer that is used for printing jewelry, and God bless them, I don't know how they're in business today because the price point they had was unbelievable. And I mean, like, I don't know who would pay that much for a printer. But basically, you had yourself a B9 Creator type of printer at about 5 times the price. And their resin was $300, not a liter, less than a liter for $300. And I was like, wow. I think there might be a little room in that materials market for some other vendors. So it'll be very interesting to see how that goes down.
Wow.
Let's see if there was a nice group of guys from Utah. Met them. They're really enjoyed talking to these guys. They're young. They're full of energy. They had made some test prints that looked great. And again, this is an SL process. And the reason why I'm talking to these guys with the SL is because we're trying SLA. We're looking at how to make an add-on so that we can round out some of our materials. So I know we're not delivering many printers right now. We're just groaning here. That will eventually fix itself one way or the other. When the guys in Vietnam actually turn on, everything will change overnight because they have such resources. That was a great thing. I mean, the factory was amazing. I think Chinese New Year kind of took a little bit of gas out of the trip, to tell you the truth. Everybody left on Friday was their last day. No one even came to work on Saturday that I know of. And I left on Saturday too for that very reason. But that said, in parallel, in concert, they're working on design. I left a ton of new drawings, and they'll be jumping on those with both feet. They tried to make some of the prototypes, and they actually did. As a matter of fact, the EMO HP has now been successfully tested, and that's the high pressure version of the EMO. And that's exciting to us because now we can do the larger 50 and 100 cc canisters with the direct drive that we currently have, and I think that's pretty cool. It opens up more applications to us. So that came out good. And then there's something else that came out of this, and that is that it looks to be, and we'll have 100% verification of it, but it looks to be that we'll be printing in latex in a very short period of time, and this latex will be biologically friendly compared to the other one. It's a new type of process, which is, I believe, a patent has been filed for this, for 3D printing this particular way. I know there's one where Epson, it turns out, and some of the other Minolta have patents for the latex ink that's UV curable. but no one has done a patent on our approach to it. So we think there's a good chance that we'll be able to at least protect the utilization of that. So that was good. But
This guy's just about to heat up.
oh, okay, he's checking it. You got the little wrench to pull the tip off? Nice. This man's prepared. So that looked good, and I'm trying to think. The scanner that was on the MakerBot scanner looked really, really painfully slow. So I'm still feeling like none of us have conquered the scanner question appropriately. That's going to be interesting. And I thought that there was one scanner the 3D Systems was touting, but I didn't actually see it work.
They had a just the demo unit with them over the show.
Where you could sit in and take pictures of you. I'm going to predict 2014 is the year of the scanner. I think that technology will march forward. The cost and pricing will drop drastically, and that the speed and
Can I?
you can, if you could find a little drill bit that's the long one.
I know exactly where that is.
If we can just walk that through there. I want to see if there's anything on the inside. So Hutch has just pulled the nozzle out of this. It might just well be that the pants were printed off of this one. And I'm not going to grab it with my fingers just yet. Let's see. So it was an interesting show. It killed me to be gone for so much time. Let's see what we've got going here. Let's see what we've got. 8 system bases there. Oh, listen, we got a ton of systems here. There's 5 in assembly ready for power up, and we've got 13, 16. Well, we got 9. We have almost 19 more ready to go together.
Push this guy out.
So what we need is emails from you guys with poison darts in them, sticking us in the butt every day, because we had lost a little bit of focus over the last 2 or 3 weeks. That is not really fair. Everybody here was sicker than a dog. I think you guys may have known that. But Davo was like the Walking Dead. Hutch was no better. And if you thought I was on vacation in Vietnam, I just got an email from them, and I got them all sick, so they're not really thrilled about it. So I was sick from Monday till Thursday. I couldn't even hardly get up more than a couple hours, but at least they let me out of the country, thank God. Let's take a look at this. And yeah, see that? See the blob?
Yep.
So it's the seal. The seal failed on this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this one was one of the earlier.
Well, it's one of the ones that doesn't have the collar on it. So you know what? The reason we had held off some of those shipments on the MK1s was because we were aware that there was a slight problem, and the seals were eventually wearing down. And the seal was between the nozzle and where the exhaust pipe would come into it, right here. So we had redesigned that, and we actually remachined it and made up we made up like 30 of them now. Yep. But those have been bulletproof. They have not failed anywhere yet. So it was a known thing, and that's why we were working day and night, and why we weren't sending out more problems than we knew we could deal with. We tried to get some of you guys printing, but the good thing is that problem appears to be fairly solidly taken care of. You look at this, it leaked right back inside of itself.
Yep.
So that's what was causing it. That was the whole thing. I think Les was tightening that to try and get more traction, try and push through here.
Yep.
But once this melts in that coin, you just can't overcome it.
Okay. So even though I was pressing into there, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're just giving it a little bit of more force so it can squeak through the cracks. But this has been my issue all along. If you look down inside, there's a blob, and what happens is, I think I can hold this now.
Yeah.
And this, I'm not going to say, I think Les got hundreds of hours out of this, so I'm not saying it was a total disaster, but you know our goal is 2,000 print hours on a print head. And that's without any maintenance on it other than just a vacuum job and a little toothbrushing action. But if you look on this, right here, see if I can get it up there. Yeah, okay. Right there on the tip, right where my finger was, that part is where a seal's made. And what's happened is the Teflon, and that's what we found out. I think there was one evening when Jim Powers was rightfully so frustrated with us, and he was mentioning that was like head building 101, and I have to tell you that he was right. You know, this was a fundamental thing that is like the hairspray, that we tried so many different things until finally we figured out what it was. And there are better ways to do it, but in this case we improved this seal about 5 times, And now we actually have it captured and backed up with aluminum on both sides. So when this goes in, it goes into a collar that's captured on aluminum on both sides, and it kept the Teflon from creeping. So since we've done that, we have had no seal failures whatsoever, and to me that's a big step forward. It's still not the high temperature head that we've got, and we have one that's actually in process and looking very exciting.
Yep.
So maybe not this week, because I'm going to be in Los Angeles on Sunday, but the following Sunday, with any luck at all, we'll give everybody a look at the new high temperature head that goes way north of 300 degrees C. It should actually get us to 400 C as the design goal. Whether we reach that, I can't say, but 400 is the design goal. All materials were selected at 400 degrees C compatibility. I thought that was pretty good. All right, let's see what other thing we got here. We got some nice responses. Oh, well, before I forget, let me go on one other thing. Let's just jog my memory. One other thing that came out of CES. We did deliver a couple of printers into Los Angeles area, and Brian Arend is probably a printing genius, and if nothing else, he has as much experience as any other person I've ever talked to in my life. And Brian immediately gave some tips to us, and gave tips to some people that he didn't even know. So Brian, you really helped the guys at Caltech. How do you like that? Brian is helping Caltech. I like that. Brian, you did fantastic by sharing that information about the different ways you were clearing out some of your problems with Form 1 labs, and that has really helped those guys a lot. So now that I said that, I got a nice email and a Skype conversation yesterday from the gentleman at Caltech, and they have been trying to perfect PLA, and they said that's dialed in, and then they also tried to perfect PVA, and they now inform me that it is dialed in. So on a HYREL printer, someone is printing reliably, and I like that word, with the Mark 1s, PLA, ABS, and PVA. And as far as I know, they're working on HIPs today.
Yep, that's right.
So that's, to us, good news, because they have the resources to spend on this. And that to me was a great step forward for all of us, that they're sharing a test suite. One of the things that came out of the trip from Vietnam, I know I'm jumping on a little bit, this all applies, is that we have agreed to hire a full-time material science guy starting 2 weeks from now, right after the Chinese New Year. And he will be actually creating scientific test suites with temperature, print results, feature size, Z-height size. We're trying to get a definitive cross-reference on with this material for this particular geometry, do these results, and there we can afford to hire someone. I can't afford to pay for that kind of science to be run here, so it makes perfect sense that we will be able to build our collective reservoirs with more empirical and experimental data that I think will actually work.